Welcome back to the Extreme Miles Club Lounge. I am Elisa.
And I'm Carlos. We are the founders of Extreme Miles. We help UK professionals, families, and beginners save up to 90% on flights using miles, credit card points, and everyday spending. So guys, last Sunday on the 17th of May, we were supposed to have this video live. We went live, but around the minute 10 of our live, the image froze, and that's why we are recording the video here so you can see everything without missing the image, okay? So let's get on. We apologize for that, but here's the video for you.
Yeah, so basically every Sunday we sit down together and go deep on one topic that actually changes how you travel. If this is your first time here, so welcome. You picked a good one to start with.
Today, we are talking about something that almost every UK family deals with every single year, the rising cost of flights, and more specifically, what is actually happening to your money every time you pay the full cash price for a seat.
Yeah, we're going to show you the real numbers, what UK households are spending on holidays right now. What does that spending cost them in ways they do not always see? And crucially, what becomes possible when you approach it completely differently?
Yeah, by the end of this video, you are going to see that the problem is not the price of flights. The problem is that the money you are already spending every month on groceries, subscriptions, everyday life is building absolutely nothing for you.
Yeah, that's right. And here's the thing that surprised me most when we first understood this. The same spending through a different system could be quietly building you enough to fly to New York, to Tokyo, to Brazil at a fraction of what you're paying now.
We are going to show you exactly what that looks like. And we are going to give you one specific thing to do today. A 4-minute action that will completely change how you see your next holiday.
Yeah, that's right. So stay with us, and this one actually really matters.
Yes. Well, let's start with the numbers, because the scale of what UK households spend on travel is genuinely striking when you put it next to the bills they pay every month.
Most people have a rough sense of what their holiday will cost. But when you see it against other household expenses, well, it lands differently, right?
Yeah, right. According to the ONS data, a typical one-week holiday abroad for a family of 4 costs between £3,000 and £4,000. That's the all-in figure: flights, accommodation, food, activities.
Now compare that to an energy bill. The average UK household energy bill for a full year is around £1,755.
Yeah.
A single summer holiday costs more than double that.
Yeah, running a car for a year, including insurance, fuel, and tax, costs between £3,200 and £3,500. A family holiday costs roughly the same as running a car for 12 months.
The Association of British Travel Agents shows that 84% of the UK population took a holiday in the last 12 months. Yeah. And then 52% went abroad.
Yeah.
People are prioritizing this.
And here's the part that tells you how seriously people take it. To fund their summer holiday, a significant proportion of UK families are actively cutting other spending: restaurant visits, entertainment, evenings out. They are sacrificing things that they enjoy to make the holiday happen.
Well, which in one level makes complete sense. Holidays matter, time with your family matters, creating those memories matters.
Yes, absolutely. But here is the question worth asking. What is that £3,000 to £4,000 actually building for them once it's spent?
And this is where it gets uncomfortable, Carlos.
Yeah, exactly. Because apart from the holiday itself, the answer is nothing. The transaction ends. The money is gone. There is no return, no miles, no points, no equity they can use toward the next trip. The spending disappears completely.
And then next year, they do it again.
Yeah.
Same sacrifice, same cost, same results.
Yeah. And the cost is not staying flat. Between 2022 and 2024, the gap between July flight prices and January flight prices expanded from 45% to 85%.
Yeah,
The
wow.
premium for traveling during school holidays is widening, not narrowing. So probably next year's version of this problem is going to be even more expensive than this year's.
Yeah. Well, families with school-age children have very little flexibility. You can't control, you can't just, travel in February to avoid the summer premium.
Yeah.
The school is in session. You pay the peak price or you simply don't go.
Yes. Studies show that traveling during school holidays adds an average of 716 pounds on the cost of a family trip compared to traveling in term time. On some routes, the difference is not incremental. A return from London to Geneva in early February costs around 85 pounds. The same flight 1 week later during half term costs 928 pounds. 11 times the price.
Oh, 11 times.
Yeah, same flight, same airline, same route, just a different week.
And so families cut more. They skip dinners out, to save for the flights. They cancel subscriptions. They put other things on hold. And then they hand that money to an airline and come back with nothing they can use next time.
There is the treadmill, and it is the part of this conversation that nobody in mainstream travel content ever address.
Until now.
Yes, until now. Here is the question we want you to sit with. What if that spending you're already doing, the groceries, the subscriptions, the dining, the everyday life, what if all of that was generating something instead of disappearing?
Yeah, because that is exactly what is happening for a certain group of travelers in the UK right now. And it's not a small group, and they are not doing anything exotic.
Yeah, they redirected their everyday spending through the right system. The same £2,000 a month that most UK households spend on groceries, bills, subscriptions, and general living, exactly the same spending, just running through different channels.
Yeah, and that spending is generating miles, month after month after month, without any additional cost, without cutting anything.
Those miles are doing something very specific. They are building toward flights that would otherwise cost full cash price.
Now, let me give you a real example. Okay, I will give you them a real example. London to New York return, one of the most searched routes from the UK. And I want to be very specific here because I actually did this research myself a couple days ago, specifically for this video.
Well, tell us about what you found.
Wow. Basically, I went on to the BA, British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, and KLM Air France websites. I chose random dates in September. Okay, that was like between the 3rd and the 10th of September. So this is like a shoulder season, and it was a week away. 2 passengers, London to New York return, economy cabin. Wow. Here is something worth knowing before I give you the numbers. Reward flights come with the hold luggage and are fully refundable as standard. That is how they are built. You do not choose it and you do not pay extra for it. So to make this a genuine like-for-like comparison, on the cash side, I specifically selected a refundable fare with hold luggage included to match what the reward flight already gives you automatically. I wanted nobody watching this to be able to say the conditions were different.
Yeah, that's fair. And what were the cash price for those flights?
Yeah, I took some notes here. So on BA, the total came to 847 pounds. On Virgin Atlantic, it was 827 pounds. And on Air France and KLM was 966 pounds. Those are real flights. I checked them myself, and just so you know, cash prices can fluctuate between searches. So the exact figures may vary slightly, but these are the numbers I saw.
And then you checked the same flights using each airline miles program, right?
Exactly. So same flights, same dates, same conditions. On BA with Avios, which is the currency they use, it was 55,000 Avios plus 120 pounds in taxes. On Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, it was 12,000 points plus 309 pounds in taxes, okay? And on Flying Blue, the KLM Air France program, it was 37,500 miles plus 586 pounds in taxes. All of them with hold luggage and refundable tickets included.
Yeah, so you can see, even accounting for the tax differences across those programs, every single one of them comes in massively below the cash price.
Yeah, indeed. And here is where it gets really interesting, because our students have access to a tool called the Extreme Miles Redemption Value Calculator, which I'm going to show you on the screen now, okay? And it tells you exactly how good a redemption is against the benchmark you should be aiming for.
Okay, Elisa, so walk us through the numbers. What have you found about the differences?
Okay. On BA, compared to the cash fare, you are saving 85.8%, and that is 727 pounds and some pences back in your pocket on that one booking. The calculator shows that is a fair redemption, which in our benchmarking system means it's generally worth doing. And then on Virgin Atlantic Flying Club, the savings are 62.6%, which is 518 pounds and some pence saved. And the calculator rates that as an excellent redemption, above the benchmark you are aiming for.
What about the Flying Blue result then? Was it too much different?
Flying Blue comes in at 38.4% saved, which is around 380 pounds and pences on this specific example. And this is important because that sits right at the lower end of what we consider worthwhile. Our general guidance in this case is that if you are saving less than 40 to 50% on a redemption, it is often better to pay in cash for that flight and keep your miles for something where they go further. The calculator shows this as a fair redemption, but it's right on the boundary.
Yes, which is actually one of the most useful things to understand early on. Miles are not always the right answer for every flight on every route.
Yeah.
Knowing when to use them and when not to is part of the system.
Yeah, perfectly put. And if that is something you would like us to go deeper on, leave a comment below with your suggestions for future lives and we will bring it in properly. Now, the tool I just showed on the screen is something our students get access to as part of the program. You can see on the screen what it looks like. If that is something you want for yourself, it's another reason to keep watching what we build here.
And there is not a promotional rate on those numbers. That is not a lucky catch.
No.
There is a verified comparison using miles built through the kind of spending you and the audience is already doing every single month.
Yeah. When I first saw numbers like this a long time ago, I had the same reaction most people have. That can't be real. There must be a catch. It must only work for people who fly constantly for work.
Yeah, and it is understandable because most people assume that miles are something you want just by flying, that they are a reward for a frequent business travel or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Well, for a lot of people, that assumption means they never even look into it. They assume it's not for them.
But here is what most people in the UK do not realize. The miles that make their £120 New York booking are not earned on a plane. They are earned through grocery shopping, through paying your subscriptions, through buying things online that the household is going to buy anyway.
That spending, redirected, could be building the miles that make the next holiday much cheaper.
Yeah, think about what that actually means. You will stop cutting the dinners out.
Yeah.
You will stop canceling the subscriptions.
Yeah.
You keep living the way you want to live. And your everyday spending, because it is now running through the right structure, is accumulating miles that will pay for a significant portion of your next trip.
So basically, you're not spending more, you are spending the same. But now it's working for you instead of disappearing.
Yeah, and the compounding effect of this is what makes it genuinely powerful. A UK household spending £1,500 to £2,500 a month on everyday life through the right credit card with welcome bonuses from opening earning cards and stacking earning rates through shopping portals can build 120,000 to 200,000 miles in 6 months easily without changing what they spend, without changing where they shop.
And what does 120,000 miles get you, Carlos?
Yes, this is a good question, and I can say with certainty that it gives you at least a long-haul return flight to New York, to Tokyo, to São Paulo, routes that cost anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 pounds in cash, for a fraction of that in taxes.
Well, I mean, that is not cutting back to afford the holiday. That is the holiday becoming a different kind of transaction entirely.
Yeah, and here is the thing that mattered most for this conversation. The families cutting dining out and entertainment to fund their flights are spending that money and getting nothing back. The family running the same spending through a miles structure is spending the same amount and building towards a holiday that costs them almost nothing out of the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, always same income, same lifestyle, completely different outcome.
And guys, if you want to go deeper on all of this, we run a free online event called the Flight Plan Accelerator Week a few times a year. It is a week of live sessions where we walk you through the full system together. If you want to understand how this works in practice for your specific spending and your specific destinations, you can register on the waiting list now. The link is in the description and in the fixed comments. You will be notified before anyone else when the next one opens.
Yeah, no commitment, just your spot on the list. And in the meantime, let us show you what the system actually looks like when it's running.
Let's be honest about how most people in the UK think about miles and points right now, because it is important to name it before we move past it.
Yeah, it's important to name the elephant in the room, right? Because
Yes.
most people either do not think about miles at all, or they collect supermarket loyalty points like a Tesco Club card, Nectar, and they cash them out for a bit off their shopping.
And this produces very little. Yeah, supermarket loyalty schemes in isolation were never designed to get you to Tokyo. They were designed to keep you shopping at that supermarket. The value per point is minimal when you redeem them that way.
So people try it, get a few pounds off their grocery shop, and conclude that the whole miles thing is a bit of a myth.
Yeah, and they are not wrong based on what they tried. The problem is not that miles do not work. The problem is that they were using the wrong system in the wrong program for the wrong goal.
So what does the right approach actually looks like, Carlos?
Well, it starts with 3 things that most people in this audience already have.
Okay.
A regular income, a
Yeah.
credit card that they are already using, and between £1,500 and £2,500 a month they are already spending on everyday life.
Yeah. Most of our audience tick all 3 of those. And They just do not have the right system in place. And also, they do not have a goal, which is quite important.
Yeah, that is the whole difference. Not a different income, not a different lifestyle,
Yeah.
a different system and a specific destination in mind.
Yeah. So, Carlos, tell me what the earnings actually look like. I mean, in practice, for someone with a normal UK life.
Well, so the first lever is the welcome bonus. When you open the right earning credit card in the UK and hit a spending threshold, usually something you would reach in your normal first 3 months of spending, you receive a welcome bonus. This can be anywhere between 5 to 70,000 miles in one go. Depending on the card, sometimes with promos, those bonuses can get even higher.
And you're spending money you were going to spend anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you are just spending on the new card.
Exactly. So from the moment you open the card, you are earning on every purchase. Your grocery shop, your petrol, your subscription, your bills, where this payment is allowed. Every pound is generating miles in the background.
Well, basically everyday life. And what about shopping portals? Because I know a lot of people have heard of these, but don't really use them.
Yeah, shopping portals are one of the most underused earning levers in the UK miles world.
That's true.
When you buy something online through a portal linked to your loyalty program, you earn additional miles on top of what the card is already earning. So instead of earning 1 or 2 miles per pound, you might be earning 7, 10, 15, 20 miles per pound on the same purchase.
And there will be things that you were about to buy anyway, from the same shops.
Yes, Elisa, exactly the same shops. Apple, John Lewis, M&S, all sorts of retailers have partnerships with the major loyalty programs. The shopping portal is just the gateway that links your purchase to your miles account.
And then there is the supermarket loyalty partnership angle.
Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of people who shop at Sainsbury's are already collecting Nectar points without even realizing they can convert them. And the same happens with Tesco Club cards.
Yes, Nectar points transfer directly to Avios.
Yeah.
If you are a regular Sainsbury's shopper, you may already have Avios sitting in your loyalty program you did not know you had access to. That is the miles you have already earned that are waiting to be activated. If you are a Tesco shopper, you can transfer your points to Virgin Flying Club.
So between the welcome bonus, the ongoing card earn, the shopping portals, and the supermarket conversion, a typical UK household is looking at how many miles in 6 months?
Well, realistically, as we said before, for someone spending $1,500 to $2,500 a month with 2 earning cards open, stacking their online purchases through a portal, and bringing in their Nectar or Tesco Club card conversion, 120,000 to 200,000 miles in 6 months is very achievable.
Yeah.
Without earning more, without spending more.
Yeah. Well, to put that in context, let's talk about another search I made a few months ago. That was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. That was London to Malaga, a family of 4.
Yeah.
And then I chose the first week of August 2026, 1st to 8th of August.
Okay.
So peak summer, the exact window when families are usually paying through the nose.
Yes.
Just like this, right?
Yes, and if I remember right, there was 108,000 Avios and £8 in taxes, wasn't it? The cash price for that same 4 seats on the same dates was over, what, 2,000
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. 4 seats, peak August, £8. And this search used the reward flight saver scheme from BA, British Airways. We talked about in our last episode, and we will leave the card up here so you can go there and watch. And we will also link it at the end of this session.
Again, I will insist on this point because you must get this information fixed in your mind. The miles for that booking can be built through everyday spending over several months. No extra costs, no lifestyle change. Just the right structure in place before the booking needs to happen.
Yeah, and this is what we want people to really hear. The families are cutting their restaurant visits right now to save for a summer holiday. Those restaurant visits, if they were going through an earning card with a portal stack, would be really generating miles, not disappearing.
Yes, and the spending is already happening. The question is whether it is building anything or not.
Yeah, right now, for most people in the UK, the answer is it's not. And that is the thing that can change.
The first step to changing it is simple. Before your next Skyscanner search, do this instead. Go to the British Airways or Virgin Atlantic website. If you do not have an account yet, create one. It takes 2 minutes and it's free.
Yeah. Then go to the reward flight search, okay? But put in the destination, type the destination you most want to visit. Look at what a route costs in points and miles.
And do not worry about whether you have the miles yet. The point of this exercise is to find your number, the specific number of miles that stands between where you are now and that flight.
And then you go back and look at the same route in cash. You write both numbers down, side by side.
And that gap is what your everyday spending through the right structure can close. And for most households in this audience, it is closer than you think.
So you get like 4 minutes. That is the first step. And once you have done it, everything we cover on this channel will land differently.
Yes, so let's just do a recap here of what we talked about tonight.
So we talk about UK families are spending between 3,000 to 4,000 on a week's holiday abroad. To afford it, many are cutting the things they enjoy. Dinners out, evenings in, subscriptions they love, and then they hand their money to an airline and come home with nothing they can use next time.
Yes, the treadmill runs again next year. Same sacrifice, higher prices, and same result.
Yeah, but here is what changes when your everyday spending is running through the right system. The grocery shop earns miles, the subscriptions earn miles, the dinner out earn miles. The spending you were going to do anyway is now building something.
And that something compounds. 6 months of everyday spending through the right structure builds toward a flight that costs a fraction of what you would have paid in cash. The Malaga booking, 4 seats, peak August, £8 in taxes. The New York example, £120 in taxes instead of $847 if paid in cash.
Yeah, and you don't need to cut the dinner out to afford the holiday. You need the dinner out to be earning you the miles that make the next holiday almost free.
And there is the shift.
Yeah.
Same spending, different outcome.
That is what this channel is here to show you.
Your action for today, do your reward flight search. Find your destination, get your miles number, know what you are building towards. That is it. A few minutes to establish your main goals.
Yeah. And before we forget, drop a comment below and tell us where you searched and what you found. We read every single one and we would love to know your destination.
As I said before, if you want a structured plan and someone to walk you through the full system, step by step, we run a free event a few times a year called the Flight Plan Accelerator Week. The link to join the waiting list is in the description.
Subscribe if you are not already. Every Sunday we go live. And next week, we're going to talk about the one thing most people in the UK are doing with the credit card that is making the bank richer and doing absolutely nothing for them.
Well, that's it for tonight, and we will see in the next one.
Yeah, see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Take care.
See you. Take care.